What is up, YouTube? Um, we're just going to go through Ryan's lesson 4, go through what's been seen on the notes because, yeah. So, with the lesson, we kind of started off with these smaller topics, just kind of, I think it was like minor case studies or something. And then we had like synthesis, so that was creating new sounds, and then the next one was a tritone. Very commonly used by Alfred Hitchcock in his horrors, which is a 3-tone or 6-semitone, tritone. Tri means 3. It's a 3-tone interval, which is one of the more dissonant intervals and can be used to create that kind of suspense and dissonance. And then for the third one, it was a character theme, and this was the one that I chose to kind of write about, weirdly. So character theme is like a recurring motif. It can be used to mislead the audience, create tension, surprise. Very commonly heard in Star Wars, I'd say, is a very good example of it, like the Skywalker theme. Yeah, and then we next have the underscore, incidental music. It's used in a film or play as a background to create and enhance a particular atmosphere. That's very random. So it's very much like the music that's not exactly the soundtrack. It's very much just the music that you will hear throughout this film. It's a melodic device, and it's kind of been ingrained in culture. So, in certain places, in certain different types of movies, so you want a Western, you'll have, your whistle, you have your boots, you'll have horse moving, you'll have your gun, you'll have your steam train. Like, those are common stereotypes of the Western era and the Western culture. So the sounds of that being incorporated into a Western film will generally create much more of a cohesive image as to where they are. Then we have parallel scoring, also known as Mickey Mousing. It matches up every single movement seen on screen to the sound. One of the common examples of this, apart from Mickey Mouse, of course, is Tom and Jerry. They do quite a consistent job of this, especially in the earlier animated ones before they became like CCTV slop, CITV slop. So yeah, character theme. So we're just going to expand on one of those MCs. So yeah, character theme. So the character theme, I chose the Skywalker theme because you can't beat Star Wars. What it is a specific musical motif that's kind of associated with a particular character in a film. It helps show the character's identity, how important they are, the emotions that they're wanting to convey, and also their personal development, how the sound of their theme changes throughout. So the example for this would be Luke Skywalker's The Force theme, also known as Binary Sunset. And it's the motif that represents the Force itself and the characters that use it. So not quite the Skywalker theme, but it's the theme where Luke Skywalker is prominently portrayed because he's such an important member, but it also represents like he has the Force in him. And very early in the fourth film, he doesn't realize he has the Force. He doesn't realize, that's kind of the whole premise of the first movie is that he's kind of he's like, oh my god, I can't do this, and then by the end he can. Which is, represents the Force, and it's quite a cool. Looking back at it, it's very like not foreboding. That's the wrong word. I'm trying to think of the right word. I can't think of the right word, but it kind of hints that because we obviously listening to it for the first time, you won't know that's a Force theme, but as it developed and as the series has developed, it's kind of been used to show more and more of the characters that use the Force. So therefore, once you come back to that first scene where that's playing, is you kind of realise the moment when the Force is kind of strong with him, even though it's like very much at the start of the series of Star Wars. 1977, yeah, long time ago. It can also be heard in moments where the May the Force be with you is spoken. It's passed from Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, to Luke Skywalker, referencing that relationship as well as their connection through being similar people, Jedis, Force aware. But then, this melody, however, it's a very interesting melody. It's a melancholic minor key, and it really suggests the struggle but mystery as well, which is very much what the Force is this invisible power, and it's kind of a mix of like magnetism, electricity, and just autism aura. Sensitivity, I believe, is kind of the premise of what it could be, but that's not what I'm meant to be talking about, so it doesn't matter. But that kind of sound that's being created is the sound, it's a struggle. There's a lot of history and a lot of pain behind the Force, behind the Jedi temple and everything. And also, if you've watched it from 1 through 9 now, I guess. I don't know how many Star Wars films there are, but the more you watch it, and with the 1, 2, and 3, which came out after 4, it kind of clears up, because you can really see the struggle of the Jedi and the way that they got literally eliminated, and then coming back, and he's essentially the last Jedi and everything. But yeah, so that was Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, from 1977. It's a film made in America by Lucasfilm. How am I going to apply a character theme in my own work? So it could be used for the characters in the animated clips that I've been working on at the moment, and the live action clip with Dunkirk that I could be working on. But at the moment I don't feel like I have enough of film. I don't have enough time on the screen to produce a character theme to such a degree, because I'm very much working with 3-4 minute long clips at the moment instead of 2 hour long films. But how would I apply it? So in Dunkirk, it could be effective to introduce a tension causing theme when the German fighter plane appears. Give the German fighter a character theme of being, the bad guys. They are the bad guys. Why did I say that like that? They're Nazis. Yeah, we don't like. Yes. But what I might have been able to do is maybe give it a little increase in tempo, or maybe a big jump in tempo. I can make the thickness, the texture thickness, increase that, because that would create a much more big, but then also dramatic and busy sound, which could reference a dogfight. And then dynamics always help, because with dynamics, when you've got the right dynamics, you can really create a sound of movement. And it's not just when the plane's coming past and the movement of that. You can very much signify movement in intensity and movement in position through dynamics by just increasing it makes it seem like they're closer, decreasing it makes it seem like they're further. But then when also you can continue to change that, you're continually changing the distance that you're essentially saying they are, you kind of create this sound of moving to and from the mic. Because if I stand here, it's going to sound very different to if I stand here and speak into the mic, So that's my big idea. And yeah, character theme.